morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome. Eva.
I wanted to ask you something, or just to speak something to see what it is.
Yeah,
Something that was so in this whole family dynamic kind of thing, or I'm not sure if it's related to that, but more it's about me and my stepbrother or my brother. That sometimes I feel like I have certain thoughts and feelings towards how he deals with things or how he's doing, like very negative thoughts, also positive. Like I love him and I feel also very strong bonds and um, I'm happy with his presence, but a lot of or also um there are like sometimes he can be in my feeling very heavy and um also have certain ideas that are not yeah, how can I say it? Sometimes I find everything I saying when I saying it I feel like, oh, when I sit with you everything always is so different, but that is why it's good to speak it out loud because then I can explore it a little bit. I have sometimes I feel that some things that in the way that he do it, it annoys me. And
mm,
um yeah, I find his way of reacting very inappropriate or very intense or and I
mm,
feel that I he's not supporting me or he's basically doing nothing and I'm doing everything and then he feels uh, I'm just saying everything
mm,
how I
mm,
sometimes feel it.
mm,
And it feels like he's then making demands that I don't feel are appropriate.
mm,
And but I find it also very difficult to speak it sometimes because he can be so angry, and then the energy feels like so intense that I feel like it's hard for me to deal with that energy. So I find it difficult because at the one point I want to tell him sometimes, but it feels like he cannot hear it or yeah. But actually yesterday I said something about how I felt, like, hey, like instead of doing this, maybe you can also give support, or yeah, I would like that if you do that. And then he could hear it a little bit, I felt.
Mm,
Like it changed something, and suddenly it switched something in him, and he was more soft and sweet instead of complaining all the time.
mm.
But yeah, I just struggle with it a little bit, like that I feel these things, and then when I'm not aware, then sometimes I feel like I create this energy around him because more people feel like this, and then they talk about it like that, and I don't like that also, because it feels like that's also not good for him when he's put into that energy by everybody. But at the same time, sometimes I feel it too. So yeah, I just wonder what.
Mm.
Sorry for the whole story. A lot of
No,
words.
it's totally fine. We all can relate.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that everybody here can relate.
Oh, and it feels like, yeah, it feels really nice to speak it, because it
Mm.
feels very confusing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So what would you like? I mean, if I understand, you would like it just smooth and that you in agreement and
Of
alignment and
course, that's the whole thing. I can see that now when you say it, like, yeah, I would like it to be harmonious, and
yeah,
that is, I actually, that's true, because I have that picture more often, that also with my stepmom, that I yeah, and it's, of course, it's just a mess, uh but that is just how the reality is. Yeah, that makes it
so,
already.
just how beautiful that you would like it harmonious. It's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, it's wonderful. And then, we all find ourselves in situations where it just isn't harmonious. It touches all kinds of feelings and ups and downs and whirlings and triggers, and yeah, quite often it's not harmonious. But you would like that. I find that very, very beautiful. So you're aware of that, of both things. You come into that environment, and quite often it's just not harmonious. Now, the question would be, what is possible when we are in a situation with another that we actually love or that is important in our life? How can we, yeah, how can we stop, or how can we guide and facilitate? Let's say it like that. How can we facilitate another possibility or another outcome? So that would be the question, huh? So it's rather than to going right, wrong, or good, bad, and he's not, and I get triggered, and we're making ourselves or the other wrong. Let's see if it can go into something. I know you like the word positive, like something curiosity. It's like, okay, here it comes, here it comes. Ooh, how can I facilitate something that is really interesting to me? And invite. And you did that with him. You spoke the other day somehow differently, and you could see it was received, and also the whole dynamic became more sweet. Yeah. So that was, wow, so that's kind of what you have learned in a way. So, we're all constantly challenged with these things, Eva, you know that. It's for each one of us, sometimes in the supermarket, sometimes just on the road, sometimes in our house with loved ones, with not loved ones. It's so, and I'm also exploring it constantly. It's, but I know my interest. So you know your interest. You love it when it's harmonious. So now how can you facilitate that in your environment? So it's like you're the boss. Sounds
Yeah,
funny. It sounds
yeah, but
funny. It is. It is. It's like you are the one that sees it. You have no clue what the others see, but you're the one that sees, and you figured already out, okay, if I speak to him like this, that gets received by him in a way that is that you like.
yeah, it's like inviting kind of, if you speak it, it feels like, oh yeah, because I or know this also other way, and then I could try to stay there and invite him more in this kind of vibe. I would like to say it like this,
Fantastic. Yes,
instead of
yes,
going in his vibe or in an or not his, but in
yes.
the negative vibe or whatever.
Exactly. No,
Yeah,
you said it, instead of going with his, uh, I would say, unconscious interest, I'm
yeah,
pretty sure he's not aware of it. That's
mm.
my idea, but who knows? Instead of going with that, you staying in your center, it's looking, how can I invite? And sometimes it's not possible. I mean, that's at least my experience.
But it's really nice like this because it becomes really adventurous to stay. It's like such
Absolutely.
a, but it's kind of cool because it's like a real um yeah, practice to
Yes.
stay to
Yes. It's a
stay there.
practice.
Yeah,
Yes.
because every time, like you say, I'm triggered the whole day long, of course, in
Yeah.
kind of, yeah,
Yeah. See, and
everywhere.
then there are different pathways, sometimes when you notice, whoa, that you feel your system being drawn into that and you don't, maybe you can mm, just excuse yourself and do something different. As soon as you notice that,
Yeah,
I'm
that
just
really
sharing,
helps.
that's what I
Yeah,
do. So, oh,
because
I can feel, I can't hold it. It's like, oh, I have to go, I have to
yeah,
do something different right now. So just to come back
yeah,
to center, to my interest, so that's the most important. Your interest, I mean, what you're here for, how you want to live, what you want to live, that is the most important. So it's
yeah,
like, don't get distracted. I mean, I'm just saying it this strongly, but you know what I mean. It's you so quickly get pulled in there and to that
yeah.
out
It goes
the
so
path.
quickly, and it really, and then sometimes it's even really hard to. It pulls so strongly, but it really helps just to sometimes, yeah, just put the energy on something else or just go for a walk or
Absolutely.
whatever, and then it's
Absolutely.
gone. But in the
Exactly.
moment, it's can be, yeah,
Yeah. The
so
sooner
so
you notice, the sooner
yeah,
you notice, and the sooner you take yourself out of that situation, the better.
yeah,
That's the biggest learning. To not stay in situations like that when it's clear that it will not switch into something else. The moment it
mm,
feels like, whoa, my system can't can't stay here in its interest, it's time to remove yourself. I'm, again, just saying how it works here. And it's fantastic because your interest, how you want to live, what you're here for, write it down or just be very, very clear and precise just for yourself so that when it goes into something different, so, oh, okay, if you want to live like this, fine with me. I'm interested in this. I'm looking after this interest. So
yeah.
be
But I find it really
really,
hard.
really. strong.
Sometimes, but what I'm triggering really strongly on is when, for example, he or someone blames me in that
Mm.
I do him wrong by, for example, saying that it's my interest, and then he, for example, feels that I'm not listening to him well, or that I'm doing that I'm falling short or something to acknowledge how it is for someone else. So yeah, so the what I find really difficult, or the system gets really triggered in, is when there is this judgment, or when someone says that yeah, I'm hurting them or something by being how I am.
Mm.
That I find that very difficult. Um, because then I
So
feel wrong. And that's the funny thing that you said, I'm sensitive for feeling wrong. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's, yeah,
So that might be a pattern between the two of you. I'm not sure. Or
in
it might
general, I think.
in
Yeah,
general, yeah. Or it might be a pattern, you know, because we always find our match, don't we? It's like we always
yeah,
find, it's like as when we come together with someone, as if the systems check out where can I get the other? Where can I get the other? And we know that so immediately, don't we? It's quite amazing how quickly we know how we can poke the other. Mostly it's unconscious. We're not really, sometimes, there is clarity around that, but sometimes not. So, but there again, you got to be clear that it has nothing to do with you and you're
yeah.
not
It's
playing that
so.
game.
And
Yeah,
then
I know.
my mind goes into this, oh, yeah, I did something wrong, or I should have been different. And but yeah, it's also taking that away about myself and about the other, both
Yes. The right,
going
wrong
out of that
thing,
field of
right and wrong, going
judgment.
out of
Yeah,
the field of right and wrong. So, and there again, coming back to center whenever possible, and then you can have a look. Ah, is there something in there that I could do differently? But, again, from curiosity.
yeah,
And that's only possible when you're centered again.
yeah,
So you got to let that touch do its thing until you come back to center. So when that touch is there, you can't do much. We know that. Then it just, uh, that first has to kind of um, do its thing, I guess. I guess all the chemicals have to be released again. So when you come to calm, when you come to center again, then you can have a look. Oh, wait a moment. What did he say? Is there anything in there that makes sense? But again, from curiosity,
yeah. And
you know,
I'm so
oh,
grateful for this,
wow.
because I can so feel that my wish or my interest is like how beautiful it is when, like, for example, you sit with me, or Isaac, or how you do that, you are with someone out of this field of right and wrong. That's so beautiful. That's the most beautiful gift. And that is
Absolutely.
my wish, to be like that. And then when I sit with you like this, I can feel that, like, oh yeah, I wish that for him, I wish that for everybody, for myself, to be received like that.
Yeah. See, there you go. And
Yeah.
again, stay with yourself because it might not be everybody's interest, but
No,
it
that's
but it
true, of
is
course.
yours.
Yeah. And
So again,
sometimes when someone else stays in that other, and you cannot invite someone, then it's also okay. Then I will remove myself because I'm not
ab-
interested in that. Yeah.
absolutely. And it's the other is not wrong. They just, they have a different upbringing, they have a different
Yeah.
past to live, they have a different journey. It's not everybody can, who knows what they had to go through in their lives. Just let's say it like that. We just have no clue. The only thing you can play with is how it is here, how
And
it
then it's okay
just is here.
to remove yourself, because then sometimes it feels like you're leaving people behind, or but yeah, yeah, that's
It's just a
also,
situation. It's just a
yeah,
situation that you're leaving behind. It's like,
yeah,
if let's say, be extreme. There's in one room there's fighting and people are shouting and doing, and then in the next room is dancing, and you see,
yeah,
oh, oh, today I'm really into fighting and shouting and stuff. Then you go into that room. Some
yeah,
people do that. And for you, it's like, oh, thanks a lot. No, I love dancing, or,
yeah.
just being like that. There's
It's not the
no,
person. Yeah,
mm,
it's not the person.
mm,
That's the, and I have
mm,
to it's just
mm.
the interest in that moment, kind of. Yeah,
Absolutely. It's just being so clear on what your interest is.
yeah,
And I'm speaking about myself in a way, and there is an interest in learning. I'm always curious how, when I'm with someone, how can we meet in the most beautiful way? But that's just for me. Sometimes I definitely meet somebody who's not interested in that. And then it's like to find the moment before it triggers everything in the system to say, oh, thank you, or not thank you, just I need to go, or I'm not
yeah.
interested, or whatever, whatever words come.
But sometimes, for example, then when the other person has strong emotions or certain,
Mm.
then and it feels like when I'm for my feeling, then someone is in kind of like some emotional trigger, and it keeps being there or something, and I feel that it's a pity, because when like it's not the vibe that I want to be in, like, to so to say, and then I remove myself from that situation, then that person would say like, yeah, well, you don't have you're not empathic towards how I'm feeling or my feelings, or you're not respecting them, or I'm not allowed to feel how I am, yeah,
Yeah,
that,
they might throw a temper tantrum. They might do all kinds of things. You see that with children,
yeah,
and it's nice when it seems like that there's a grown up. You just got to see what you want. If that kind of flips you into staying, no problem with that. But the
because
consequence. You know
sometimes
the
I feel like a little bit a bitch or harsh when, for my feeling, for example, someone is in that story all the time, and then I'm like, yeah, okay, it's very sad that for example, with my stepmom or with my brother or whatever, that they have like this story about, yeah, okay, like all the time my stepmom, for example, is that how sad it is that her life is like this right now, and that my dad is like this right now. And then at some point I'm like, yeah, okay, you know, can we move on from this? And then it feels also at the same time a bit heartless from me that I'm uh yeah, feel like that.
Mm. That's the hook. That's the hook into the old
Yeah. That I feel
pathway.
that it's something
Mm.
wrong with me that I'm feeling like that, like I'm not caring or loving enough, and I don't have enough empathy for how she feels, and which is sometimes I do really feel also. It goes, sometimes I do really feel my heart, and a lot of love and understanding about how difficult things can be. But sometimes I'm also like, yeah,
Whenever you lose your center, then it's actually time to go. that's how my system plays. It's very,
Yeah,
very clear. It's very, very clear. It
it
feels
doesn't
like,
have anything to do
oh,
with them.
like this? No, it doesn't
Yeah,
have
it has
anything
to
to do
do
with
something with my
anything.
system or with taking care of myself and not with if it's wrong or bad or I just could.
It has only to do with what your interest is in life. Only that. And how radical you can be and how radical you want to be. I mean, I'm just talking about myself. You have to see what's interesting for you. Maybe for you it's fine to stay in those situations, but what I'm hearing is that it's not fine.
And you
So
would also, that's maybe a weird question, but my question is then like, would you do that too? Would you, if someone comes with a story all the time and you're, yeah,
it
not
depends.
interested?
I mean, you
Yeah.
see how I'm with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see. That's my invitation is actually very clear, I would say.
Yeah.
So, and I'm happy to have a conversation again and again because, until it's not clear. But if the other one is not interested, then we don't have much to do with each other, actually. It's then there's also not much interest on spending time in conversation, let's say it like that. If somebody is interested in that room where there's fighting and shouting and yes and right and wrong and good and bad and judgment and gossip and all that, and there's another room where there's dancing, I'm just using these examples, then for my system it's clear where it wants to go.
Yeah.
So again, I'm just talking about myself. You have to find that for yourself, Eva. You have to see very clearly what your interest is and
Yeah.
not being blackmailed by right and wrong and being a bitch and what all these beautiful words you said and
but
judging
then it
yourself.
feels like, in the end, maybe everybody, of course, how can you not have the wish to dance? So maybe everybody has that eventually.
No,
Yeah. No.
no, no, I don't think so. I know people who would go into the shouting room. No, there's also no right or wrong in that.
No.
Just it's actually really simple. It's actually really simple. What's your interest? What's
Yeah,
our
there's
interest?
somewhere behind it is an idea still, which I can feel about that the dancing would be better.
Yeah, see,
So
there you
then,
go.
and then of
That's
course, yeah,
that's a
but
trap.
yeah, and it really
No,
is a
it's just
deep belief that the dancing is better
mm,
for life, for
yeah.
more comfortable. But apparently, no, it's not. Some people don't feel comfortable dancing.
Mm, no, it's not for everybody. Maybe there might, I just used two rooms and that was a bit extreme. But how many rooms there are, that's, how many people are there on the planet and how many personalities are in one system, and that's how many rooms there are. It's
Wow,
just
that goes really
billions
deep, yeah, because there's
of
a really deep,
billions. Yeah, galaxies.
yeah. That's I can now feel that how strong that belief is, and that of course comes also from this wanting it how this system thinks it's harmonious or how it should
Far,
be. Oh,
far
that's
out,
really nice to let it go. I really have no idea, but it feels really weird, yeah. That feels
far out.
with a
Yeah.
very deep hidden
Yes.
preference for how it
Yeah.
should be.
Yes, exactly. Which makes also sense. Some of us just really love harmony and peace and quiet and
Yeah, or whatever, however this system feels comfortable with, with
yes, exactly.
yeah. then
exactly.
that is but of course how this system feels comfortable feels then like the right way, but that's for this system and not for everybody.
Only, only for
And
that
that
system. Yes,
I can now
only.
see how I'm projecting that on everything and everybody.
Cool.
Yeah. And
Fantastic.
when I accept that it's for this system and that for other systems it can be different, then I also have more room for them to choose another way. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh, so cool that you can see that. Mm.
Yeah, because then I can imagine that it feels for people sometimes that I'm forcing my way of how it should be on them.
Mm.
Yeah,
In a
because
way,
obviously
everybody
I'm
does
doing
that.
that.
In a way, everybody does that,
Yeah,
more or less.
we
You know?
use ourselves as a reference point.
Yes, and then there's manipulation everywhere we go.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know,
and how we want it to be. Yeah.
some of us try to not interfere, that's a manipulation. Others step forward, that's a manipulation. And there's
When do we
always
don't manipulate is when we really step back out of that whole realm or something. Yeah.
when there is that, I never know a better word, but when there is that sweet surrender, when just life flows in its own way, and there is no judge in a way. There's no,
No,
no good,
even
no
yeah, like
good.
that you sometimes see your system do things. Also, there is no judgment. Like it's also life and yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
There's no, let's say the judgmental mind is not
yeah.
in the foreground. It's, when it sees itself just flowing and doing its thing. And I'm pretty sure every one of us have had an experience of that. Not sure, but pretty much could easily be, that, whoa, when it just happens by itself. Words come out just the way they come out, just everything just does what it does. Mm.
Thank you so much for
Thank you. Very, very inspiring and very beautiful exchange. Thanks for bringing this. Really cool.
that. Hmm.
Mwah. Elsa,
Hey, Meike,
hello.
something's been really touched by that.
I understand. Phew. Yeah.
I've been in Perth a couple of weeks ago with the grandchildren,
Mm.
and I don't know if it's just their time of life, but they're pushing me away so painfully, like the
The
12-year-old,
grandchildren?
painfully.
The grandchildren?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. So Sam, who is now 12, he's been doing that for a little while. He's been kind of, like taking apart everything I say, or it's like I've got nothing to give or to, he doesn't want to know anything that I want to offer or that I want to show or anything like that. Or, but he's now the 9-year-old is also starting to really push against me. And it's so painful.
Mm.
And I don't know if I'm losing them. And everything that comes up here is around, you know, she used to call me her granny, and now I heard her introduce me to someone saying, "This is my friend Elsa," which is how Anna introduces me to people, like as her friend. And, you know, I know they're not really my grandchildren, but I love being part of the family, and I kind of feel like I'm being exiled, or there's so much comes up for me around wanting to be loved, and you know, every time that I see the kids, I have to catch up a little bit because they're more grown up than they were last time. If I relate them to them like how they were earlier, like Rose says, like, "Don't treat me like a baby." And it's like, you know, that was when she was younger. And when I really had to always, when I learned I had to always catch up, that now this was again more developed little person. And I feel like I'm not catching up, and I feel so hurt by what's happening there. And at the same time, I have to say, hang on, I just got to blow my nose. At the same time, you know, when I was there, and that first afternoon was more heavy for me. And then I really kind of looked at what's happening for me and how much I want to be liked by them. And it was like, you know, somehow it felt like everything in my life keeps pointing me in this direction. Like, it's not about how others look at me, it's about where I stand. And, you know, and I really, in that situation, I managed to make that shift. And the next day I was with the kids, but I wasn't, it was different. I was different. It was like I wasn't looking anymore for their approval, or, you know, and things got a lot easier between me and the kids. But the pain is so, there's such fear of losing them. They're turning into teenagers, and
Yeah. Yeah.
they're not the kids anymore.
Mhm. That's what parents also have to deal with.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the children are not the babies anymore, and they're slowly, you know, getting their wings ready, and, you know, they don't want to listen anymore. And so same process, I guess, huh? Mm.
There is another part to it that I feel really bad about. Sam and me, we've had a hard time. A lot, because he's a boy who pushes boundaries all the time, who fights, who argues, who, you know, like, it's been such a challenge, and it's been like, you know, kind of, it's been difficult. It's been a difficult journey, and I feel like I failed him, or I failed in
Elsa,
managing that in a beautiful
Elsa,
way.
you want to entertain that?
No.
Oh, very
No.
glad to hear. Nah. Oh my God.
Oh, getting hot.
Yeah. That's good. That's a good sign. Burning
Oh,
up some stuff. Yeah. See, that's the old pathway, thinking you failed and you could lose something and all that. You can only lose what's not real. And there you can say thank you.
yeah.
And you
Yeah.
know that. Yes. And failing, my gosh, this life is such an amazing journey. If we want to go with we failed anywhere, it doesn't do us good.
Yeah.
No.
I
It's
mean, I've always done the best that I knew how to.
there you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah.
And my God, he's an explosive child. My God. I mean, God, sometimes you hear the screaming matches between him and his mum, because she's at the end of her wits at times with
Yeah.
so much pushing, pushing, pushing. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know where it comes from.
Yeah. I guess he also doesn't know.
No.
No. It's, yeah.
And he's a bloody little genius. My God. He's so talented. It's unbelievable.
Mm.
Ah,
Mm. So there again, we can see, the moment we make it mean anything about them, your grandchildren, or make it mean anything about you, there will be hurt, pain, confusion, all of that. Huh?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So there again, coming back to right here, your interest and your invitation. Mm. And sometimes it's taken and sometimes not. We know that with our friends, even with the closest ones. It's like, okay, today it just didn't work. No clue why, but making it mean anything about ourselves or the other will not support, or will support only pain, suffering, and confusion. Rather than, okay, today it didn't work, and let's just, maybe we say a little earlier goodbye. So, okay, maybe we just part for now, and let's see. How many times have we experienced that? Huh? How many times have we done that? And then we try to stay or we try to fix, or sometimes it's possible to have a conversation, or sometimes it's just maybe the stars, the weather, the moon, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? We will, in my experience, we will never find out what it is, why it sometimes goes harmonious and sometimes not. Just making it mean anything, that is the pain, isn't it?
Yeah, and then thinking about the future of this relationship is doomed.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Getting a lot of better at taking my space when I need it.
Far
Going,
out.
going to the mulberry tree. Oh,
Far out.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. That's fantastic.
yeah. But it was still sitting there very painfully. So I'm glad that this came up because
Yes.
more,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's good to share, and it's good to, come to center again.
yeah,
Letting all those chemicals that have been stuck there for a while just move through together. Yeah. Yeah. As you know, we all know the same stuff. There's not one of us here, I'm pretty sure, that doesn't know this. So let's support each other in coming back to center and start again with your interest in your heart. Mhm.
I'm just getting a glimpse of that a lot in the past. I have left friendships or relationships when it got too hard,
Mm.
that I went, yeah, that I give up on it and go like, I'm better off by myself. And I don't want to do that.
See, you know, I can hear, just the way you speak it, that there is a judgment in it,
Yeah, yeah,
that it should have been different.
yeah,
Yeah. Rather than, wow, this is what my system, my personal system, this system needed to survive that situation.
yeah,
It
it's true.
needed to distance itself that much. Wow. Good on me.
Come back here.
Yes, you know, one is making itself wrong,
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
other one is, wow, that's what you had to do. Wow.
yeah,
Feeling for this system, you know, feeling for this system. And you have no clue why it had to do it, but obviously it had to do it. So can we be
passionate.
compassionate with this system?
Mm,
Yeah. It would have done differently if it well, if there was an option, if there would have been an option, it would have, definitely.
yeah,
But you can feel what it does when it says, oh, wow, oh, sweet Meike or sweet Elsa, this is what you had to do. And I see, it's okay, it's okay. And the other one, why did you do that?
yeah.
Say,
And actually, thank you for doing that. I
oh,
mean, thank
yes, exactly.
doing that
Yeah,
because
like, yeah.
that gave me a chance to come back to myself.
Isn't it amazing? And also that there is a seeing of how the system is functioning.
Yeah,
You know, so
yeah,
there is not just that idea about this system. You know, we're
yeah.
having this idea about how Elsa should walk through this life. And then when
Ah,
she doesn't do that, then there is, what the heck? See, there's like two systems working against each other.
yeah,
One is the idea of oneself, and then when it sees how the system is actually acting,
yeah.
which doesn't have mostly nothing to do with the idea. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's all our inheritance, you know, all our conditioning, you know, our religion, where we grew up, which culture we grew up, and which year we grew up, you know, yeah, how our parents were with each other, and, you know, just everything that conditions the system. Yeah. With, you know, sperm and egg already full with all information. So that on top of it, not only from this life, just
Yeah, yeah.
from collections of informations.
Isn't it amazing we're doing as well as what we're doing?
Unbelievable. It's, oh, you know, when you go just a tiny bit into that. So, and
Wow.
then it has opinions about itself and shouts about itself. And oh, it's just, yeah, yeah. It's good when we look from here, huh? But
Yeah,
rather than, wow, this is how it's wired. This is what it does. And then when it relaxes into that's what I'm noticing, you know, when it relaxes into just noticing how it is actually acting and has no judgment on top of it, it's just there,
Yeah.
then there's an opportunity for something else. That's when something opens up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's when those ideas just drop for a moment. See, that's again when Ava and I spoke, that sweet surrender, when that happens for a moment, and it's just that flow happens, that flow of life that does not have an idea how it should be. And I know you know. I know you know. It's just
I do.
does that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So lucky when that happens for moments. Mhm.
I'm in love with that. And it happens more and more and
more and more.
and oh, do I?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I think we can all say that.
Yeah.
Me included. More and more and more. Mm. Mm. Oh, love to hear next visit.
Next visit, the grandmother from England is going to be there, and her and me, we are close buddies. We really, oh, I look forward to my next visit.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm, welcome. Yes. Thanks for bringing this.
Oh,
Mm. Yeah. Marina.
Hello.
Hello.
Ah, yeah, interesting conversations with both Ava and Elsa.
Yeah.
That recognition here that there's been so little flow, you know, that when you say the flow and everything's just, it's like, it's been the opposite here, where the mind has just been ultra focused and busy on food and diet in order to, you know, for my health, so the fatigue's not there or the anxiety's not there. And then I get fixed and watch YouTube. And it's kind of like mad.
Yeah. Mind
Yes,
is mad.
mind is mad. Yeah.
Mind is madness. Yeah. And
And then,
creativity, no? It made all this. It made
and
it
then
all up.
yeah. Oh,
It made it all up. It's all made up.
and
All
there's so
made up.
much confusion.
Yep.
And there's been a lot of confusion and disappointment and
Yep. All part of it. Yeah.
pain.
Good seeing. So stepping into that seeing.
Yeah.
That would be my invitation. Rather than go with the other,
Yeah.
my invitation would be just staying with the tiniest little bit of seeing. That is the
Yeah.
stepping out of that. And that's grace. That's absolute grace. It doesn't happen to everybody. So if that is there, it's like, oh my gosh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, I'm just telling you how I'm dealing with those things. I don't know a better way. I don't know another way. Otherwise, it's just, it takes you and lost.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes. So that tiny little bit, when that split moment when there's a seeing of it all, when you can catch that. Far out, I see. Doesn't have anything to do with me, you, anybody. It's what it does. And then to see if something moves, you know, when that seeing opens just a little, if there's a bit more space, or if it opens up a bit more love for the system, that it has to do it. This is what it has to do, obviously. Otherwise, it would do differently.
mm,
Yeah, it's there again, it's so simple. If it could do differently, it would. It would.
mm,
Obviously, it doesn't have a choice. And there is that which sees.
yeah,
Yeah. And it is a huge effort to stay with that seeing, because the momentum of going with the other same old patterning is huge. You see it everywhere around you.
mhm,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So it's a huge effort at first. You know, sometimes it goes
Almost like,
easy.
is it almost like the neural pathways? It's a bit different, isn't it? But you know, when neural pathways get very big or
Yes.
strong
Yep.
like that, yeah.
Yes, it's like that. It's, you know, they say when somebody learns the piano or an instrument or whatever, you know, they can measure the neural pathways. So you can see how, you know, the more you play, let's say the piano, and the better you get, there's neural pathways, networks that create themselves. It's the same with the other. We have done this now for centuries, being miserable, making ourselves small, making ourselves living in a sense, with a sense of separation, with a sense of good and bad, and just the whole thing of this reality where we live in, where we find ourselves. So, you know, when life itself tries to do something new, it's full on, and it shows you to do something different. So, so you know. Mm, mm. So just that you can report on it all and that you have this tiny bit of seeing, Marina, is the biggest gift.
Yeah, and there's like a quite a sort of quite a deep sadness that's underground, underneath, or
Yeah,
you know, around it.
cool.
Yeah,
Fantastic to notice that.
yeah,
And again, you can see how quickly it wants to judge.
yeah.
Yeah. Instead of, whoa, there is somewhere, sometimes, a deep sadness.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you might even find also sometimes a deep joy.
Yeah.
Yeah. They might sit right next to each other. And all the other things. I mean, all the other emotions, all the other states. It's like, I don't know if it can be just one state ever.
Yeah.
Um, I don't have a sense that it is about that. It's more about that seeing, and then instead of resisting, with grace coming into that flow. But it is grace. We can't push it. It's just not possible. It's can't be pushed through. It's that when it gives into itself, like all of a sudden, oh.
But at the same time, you said earlier that it's work, or I remember Isaac saying too, that it's got to be the most important thing in a way, because the peace has to be the most important thing. Likened it to a mobile phone for kids, like they wouldn't leave without their mobile phone.
Yes.
So don't leave without that. That interest is primary. Important.
Yeah, it's the most important ever. It's that, you have you had things when, I mean, for me, it's been always simple things. I like renovating, for example. So when I got a new place or something, then, whoa, I could not wait in the morning to get up, to get the paintbrush out and get it all ready and make it beautiful. And I could not wait. I would go late to bed and I could not stop, because it was so, I just loved it. This is how it, that interest has to be maybe even stronger. I don't know, but just to give a sense of it. It's like, that's what you wake up for in the morning. Mm. Mm. Ah.
Well, thank you.
You too. Daniela.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm always a bit excited when I speak the first time.
I can imagine. Very nice to meet you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was it was luck.
Cool.
The hand goes up when you spoke with Marina and about this issue. What is your interest? And when there is an interest, that then you like to stay up in the morning.
Yeah.
And that's a feeling that I didn't know. Actually, it's really rare when I wake up and think, hey, yeah, a new day. That's not the habit here. Up till now, I don't know. Yeah. And this theme is with Isaac also the last weeks, and it's going on here. What's my really interest?
Yeah, fantastic.
I didn't know.
Fantastic, Bettina.
I find myself sitting with you whenever it's possible, and with
Oh.
Isaac. And yeah.
That's very interesting to you then?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. But there's also a part that is really lazy, that would love to do nothing, and waiting what's coming up or something like that.
Oh, I understand that also well.
Say again?
I do understand that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just an example. It's just using words, and it's just using, an inspiration in a way. I'm using words that way. It doesn't have to be like that you want to jump out of bed. It's just, it can be like that. It's more, I think it's a very good inquiry, Bettina, to see what's actually your interest. What are your interests? Maybe there are more. You know, you can't make a mistake with that. You know, even laziness can fit in. I'm also interested in being lazy. Or, you know, it can all, it doesn't have to be a particular way. That's not what it's about.
No, I know, but I noticed there is a wish. I would like to stay up in the morning and be happy to have a new day. So that's also I noticed. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You just froze.
You also?
I could hear you. I can-
Yeah, I
Can
don't
you
know.
hear me?
Not good.
Can you
It's
hear me?
frozen, stucky.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, better.
No.
Yeah.
Better? Now let's
Yes,
see.
better. It's
Now it's
coming back.
speaking. Yeah, good. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You know, with that interest, I mean, the conversation with Marina was about, you know, most of us are used to live our lives in that not wanting it the way it is, or
Yes.
not wanting it, not wanting that experience that we are having. So that's kind of where most of us,
Yeah, that's also well known here.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So whenever there is a noticing of something that's habitual, that is the gift. Whenever that opens up, in my experience, what I've been playing with is I would not even look at that habitual anymore. I would just stay with the gratitude for that noticing.
Mhm.
That for whatever reason, whoa, something opened up in the horizon, at the horizon. It's like, whoa, and a light comes through. It's like, oh, I see. And even just for that moment, and I would make the effort to stay with that. Yeah. And that is, that is when you can maybe compare it with waking up in the mornings, like, oh, here I am again.
Mm.
It's like, oh, there comes the light. Just maybe for one moment. And then only focusing on that rather than seeing that's the effort in a way, because these other, the pattern, the automatic movements for our system since centuries has been so wound, such deep pathways.
Yes.
It's so difficult to get out of them. They have been so established, these pathways, because these body systems are on automatic. Every cell knows what to do. It's conditioned, it's programmed, it knows exactly what to do. So to get out of the habitual without that moment of the light come in, say, oh, I see. Nothing will ever happen. It just will continue that old way. And I don't know why life wants us to experience something other than that. And it doesn't matter, but I like it. It's very exciting to me. It's like far out. There's another way. It's like, wow. And now without pushing, without pulling, without blaming, without shaming, without right or wrong, it's like, wow, how can these moments get even bigger? There's just a huge interest, not knowing how, staying in the not knowing, otherwise it's on automatic. The moment there's I know, it's on automatic. The moment is like, whoa, see, and I have no clue, and whoa, and I have no clue. It's fresh. And then something can happen. So that was that conversation in a way. That was, it's nothing. You see, it's like the moment it goes into that something could be wrong even. We are in that old automatic, gosh, painful existence.
Yeah.
So, and it is so worn out, that pathway. It really needs a bit of effort to jump over the edge.
Mm. That actually was the wish. I noticed this thought coming in, oh, something's wrong with me when, and so I raised my hand and have a look together. That's because
Yeah.
then it could grab so
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Far out. Far out.
Yeah.
See, and that is the moment of something new happening.
Yeah.
That is that jumping out of that old pathway, of that worn out path.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just choop, it went on top there.
Yeah.
It might fall in again. You know, it might,
Yeah.
but we don't know.
We don't know. Yeah.
We don't know. And we also know whatever our system has seen, that has been seen.
It's
You
been
know,
seen.
you can't get rid of that.
Mm.
Whatever it's like, you know, learning how to ride the bike. When you've experienced it once, you know, if the nervous system stays healthy, you will be able to ride on the bike to the last moment of your life.
Mm.
If the body still allows it, you know, with balance and everything. But that feeling you will never forget.
That's right.
Yeah, it's an experience. It's a felt sense experience. And that's what the system needs to learn something new. And, you know, it's so beautiful because, you know, that's all known stuff. The moment the system learns something, there's always these beautiful chemicals that come into the system.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, I learned something. Wow, I got it. Whoa, you know, we know that. So, and that's the experience then, the felt sense experience.
Mm.
So you did that. You saw, it's like, oh, this is the old way. Let me
It's
just raise
come.
my yeah.
Yeah.
See, and can you feel it? Can you feel it? Yes. That's the experience, the felt sense experience of learning. You're just showing us. Be totally happy about it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Is there a little more time for a practical question about this?
Of course. Yeah, of
In
course.
my life, it seems some changes are coming. I got a new flat, so I have to move the next 3 months
Far out.
to pack, and yeah,
Mm.
that's also
Mm.
that's practical. The mind goes there all the time
Yeah.
and looking how to do and what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on the other side, there is a new job, perhaps. So
Wow.
yeah, but that's the point. I didn't know there is another job is coming in another realm of taking care of handicapped people. So there is I don't know how to speak that. In my job where I am, that's not enough money, and actually I don't want to be in a bureau since
Office.
years in the office, yeah. But this other job is also not where I'm saying, oh yeah, I would like to do that. So yeah, I don't know. When I can choose by myself, I would say no, nothing of all from that. I don't want to have such a kind of job, but I have to earn somehow money. So
yeah, you know, yeah, understandable. We all do. You know, sometimes we compromise. You know, maybe you can see which job is better, the old one or the new one.
Yeah. That I can't really say because the new one is really totally new.
Yeah.
But it's a totally different job, and it's more with people what I would like, but it's also not paid well, I have to start with the lowest level. So, and the invest is much more because it's about people and a lot of work. So I'm not sure. Perhaps it's
That's always difficult to go to a less income.
yeah.
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 I mean, when it would be raised yearly or so that you come to the same level of income, or
I think it's it's slow. It's very low and it's going slow. So
yeah, so then maybe just having a look if it's worth it, or
yeah,
it's
that's
also not really what you would like to do. So
that's where I find myself now. I'm not, it's nothing clear. So yeah, there are different thoughts about it. Will show.
Yes, it will. You will come. You have a sense that it will come clear for you?
Yes, I think it's the on the way. Though yesterday I had an Bewerbungsgespräch with these people, and a part of me stayed with me and didn't accept this low budget. So I thought that's not enough for me. So now it's on their path. They would speak with we will see. We will see.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
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 And if it's still for the experience to say my meaning or my opportunity, my options, and not always like the old habit. Yes, I will do that, and it's not really what I want. So
Far out. Yeah. You have to leave the old job, or why?
No, actually not. Actually not. They would die wollen es verlängern, but but it's still 15 hours a week, so it's still less money. It's 1,000 euros, and I have to pay flat, so that's not enough.
Okay.
Yeah. But now at the moment it's really more trust again, and it will show like it is it's the best way.
Yes.
Yeah. To stay with the not knowing. It's always a challenge.
Yeah, to stay with the not knowing, but also, it depends on, if it's practicalities, then, staying centered.
Yes,
but,
it's always about that. Yes.
Yes, but, seeing clearly, okay, the pros and cons in a
Yes.
way, to see, this job has this to offer, this job had this to offer, and what's the best for me? So, and you will know, what's best for you, don't you?
Not so clear. Yes, on the one hand, it's an interest to do something new.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, there's this lazy part that's more money for less work, but the work is boring. So I don't know.
Yeah. But if the other one is not enough money for you to live off, then it's
That's
clear.
totally clear. Then it's clear. Yes.
But you don't have to think long time about it. It's
because
just
both is like a compromise for the system.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if you want another job, maybe then there are other options, and you can.
I will look. Yes.
Yeah, then you can take more time.
Yeah.
And maybe you get better pay.
Yes. Perhaps.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the practical watch. The practical. Yeah.
Oh, that's what we have to deal with in
Yes.
in this reality.
Yeah. It is. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Now it's much more clearer what's my interest.
Wonderful. Glad to hear.
Yeah.
Mm.
And thanks a lot, everyone.
Mm. Mm.
I'm
You're
always happy to be here. So, but
Yeah.
for the next weeks, I don't know what life wants for me. So I'm
You're
always with you.
you're always with us in the heart, definitely,
Yes.
Bettina. Yeah,
Yes.
I do feel you always.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mm.
Thank you.
Ellen,
Hello, Mike.
hello.
Mm. 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 there's coming a lot of information. It's nice to connect with you to really feel this strength to be in the middle. Because lately there's a lot touched in relating, and I can see that it's also so much old information and old I'm just watching, I'm just in it and I'm just watching
Yeah.
what is happening.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get drowned in it, and that
Yes.
grabs me,
Yeah.
But it's so much old information about woman and man and how this, wow. But I don't want to support it. I want to
Yes.
stay just
Wow.
quiet and watch. And now that's why it's nice to connect with you, because I know that you know
Yeah.
this information, that you have been there and watched it in a way. Feels like that.
Mm.
Yeah. Mm. It's really such a big longing and to really see clear,
Yes.
and not to really be in the middle and to really see clearly, like what's going on and what's yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. And what's interesting for you again?
Yes,
Yeah. What
because
your
it's so clear what is my interest. It's really so clear.
Yes. That's all you need to know. So then there is clarity. All the rest doesn't matter.
Sometimes it's so pulling.
I
You know?
know it is pulling. Yes. Mm. Yeah.
So the last meeting, I was so touched when you were talking, like when you were telling this, like that you sometimes go outside and then you just feel you sit in nature,
Mm.
and then you feel nature and you let nature feel you. And I was really, when you were telling this, tears were just rolling, like wow. And then now this really gives me strength, you can say, like okay.
Mm.
When it's a kind of lot is coming up and all this turbulence in the world, you can say, because there's so much turbulence in the world. Wow,
Absolutely.
it's
Yeah.
amazing. And then I just all the time I go with my focus to nature and to to regulate my system.
Mm.
So it's a really good help.
Oh,
You told
so
us.
good. Mm. Mm. These little things, huh? Mm.
It's very little, but it's so big.
It's powerful, yeah.
It
So
makes
powerful.
such a big difference.
Yes. Mm.
Because then when I sit in a meeting and there's a lot going on between people. You just can feel it. And then I just watch outside, and they're standing a big tree, and then it's really like, okay.
Oh,
Okay,
oh,
okay.
oh. Mm.
Now in the relating with Martijn, it's so how to say it? So much has changed that I in a way I feel very, it feels very hoe zeg je dat? Ongemakkelijk. I feel,
Uncomfortable.
I don't know, do not really feel at ease.
Yeah.
And just okay, just to feel this sensation, and not, and of course then mind is going active because it wants to help and blah blah blah, and it wants to tell why and all this
Mm.
stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And to really stay in the middle and just to okay, it will all settle down and we will see. We just
Mm.
see, you know. And but there is so much old information in it also. I can feel the unsafety of my mother in relating with men.
Yeah.
But it has nothing to do with me. I mean, but
No.
it's there, you know, and so it's not really honest in a way to protect it on him. I don't want
Projected
that.
on him.
Yeah,
Mm.
you know,
Yeah.
it's all old.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So there's that opening where the light comes in. Oh, see, no, don't want to project that. Done that forever and ever and ever and ever. No interest anymore.
No.
Mm.
So it feels a little bit like now life is bringing this information, is bringing this information to transfer it, you can say.
Yes, exactly.
Mm.
So there is something that just it still echoes in my mind.
Mm.
You said it is uncomfortable sometimes.
Mm.
Do you feel that as sensations? Or how do you feel it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
I don't know what to say. And it's, yeah, it feels like sensations,
yes,
and I see my system is going a little bit back.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So when you notice that,
mm,
so there again, when there's that noticing coming, that is what the system is doing automatically.
mm,
See if it's possible, if it's appropriate in that situation to remove yourself. So it's like, there's a baby in discomfort and it can't do anything itself yet. And then, if it can't move away, so it sits there and then it seems like it will never be able to move. It has that memory somewhere. It has that imprint. Like, okay, when I can't get away from here, it's like, oh, So, but now the new situation is that you see and you actually can move now in this moment. This is just an old imprint that kind of seems that you can't move, that you're frozen somewhere.
yeah.
When that comes, see if it's, so that would be your homework, kind of.
Mm,
That when that happens, that ooh, I actually can move. And if it's just from here to there, you know, if it just is from here to the toilet or from here to the sink to just get cold water on your hands or whatever it is, but it's like now in this moment, you're picking that baby up and you walk around with it. It's like you're not stuck, little one. You're not stuck. You're not stuck. You have been there, stuck. Sometimes, yeah, see, then you get a breath. But you're not stuck anymore. I'm taking you out so you can walk yourself, so to say. So that would be maybe a support to that new information that comes in. You feel the sensation, but you're not getting stuck there. We know that sensation for so long now. No, we kind of, oh, we can,
Yeah.
you're not stuck there anymore. So see if that is possible. I'm really curious, you know, if you like to explore that.
Yeah.
So, you know, if Martijn is involved, maybe you can even say to him, you know, so, oh, wow, this is an old sensation come, let me just move from here to there, or, you know, if he's interested, but you can include him so that he doesn't get scared, you know,
Yeah.
that something is wrong, or see if that is possible.
Yeah.
That would make a huge difference. It's like for the first time, there is a looking after a sensation and not leaving it in that discomfort, which, you know, then always reinvents the same old story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, there it is again. Instead of, oh, let me just see, how do I be with this baby, you know?
I even can see like it's a kind of, there's a kind of split in it, you know, where
Yes.
it's really because
Yeah.
I feel like there's one part that really wants to have him close, and at the same time there's a part that really wants to push him away. So it's a
Yeah.
kind of wow. That
Yes.
makes a little bit. I can feel maybe the frozenness also, or the being stuck because it's
Yeah.
but yeah, it's good to go out. I when I speak now, I also okay.
Yes. Yes.
That's how.
You know, the more aware you are about that pattern, the
Uh,
easier it will be to step out of it. You can even say, wow, I am noticing this and this and this, and I just need to get my system a bit away from this situation so that I can come back. You know, so it will be there will be no right or wrong. You will notice, you know, in yourself when it is right. See, it's a classical early attachment story that you're just
yeah,
sharing with
I'm
us.
aware of it. I'm aware
I
of
know,
it.
I know.
Um,
As most of us have it. It's like, oh, come close, but at the same time, oh, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no. And that is exactly, again, that young
Yeah.
being that didn't get clear signals of now is your time, and then there's enough time so that you can get exactly what you need, and then you can sleep again, or you can walk away, or whatever. So then there is that, is it now or not? And if it doesn't get really received and looked after, there is that confusion where it makes itself like, I never want to experience that again with somebody close. So it's just like that. I know that well in my own experience. But the awareness makes the big difference, and maybe even the sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see, of course, in a way, this system was very much there for him all the
Yeah.
time. Long,
Yeah.
very long time, of course,
Yeah.
the situation. And now it feels like there's a kind of turning point.
Yeah.
And that's yeah, that's so this old form, you can say, because in a way it went into a form, it's just falling apart, and now it's like
Far out.
what do we have? What is relating? It's a kind of phew, yeah,
I find that very exciting.
okay.
Yeah, because something new is coming, and you're inviting each other to something new.
Yeah,
Mm. Be very gentle with yourself.
yeah. It's
Mm.
nice to speak about it, yeah, to
Yes, it's very nice to hear about it.
acknowledge it.
Mm. Mm. Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. Mm. Mm.
Yeah. And in a way, I know you also went there in relating with Isaac just to see all this, yeah, how it all works and all this.
Absolutely. Yes.
It's,
Yeah.
it's, uh, mm,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's nice to drink some information in from your system
Yes. Oh,
about
yes.
this
It was
subject.
there was such an entanglement, even though, we've been exploring,
Mm,
from the moment we came together, and still
mm,
it entangled itself. It,
mm,
it just does. I mean, it just does everywhere where there is no, where it has been on automatic, it goes on automatic. And obviously it gets only seen when it gets touched.
mm.
It's just, and it touches deep, but only then it gets seen. It's such a funny thing. Yeah. But it is, I mean, in my experience, it's, well, even though it's been a journey, I mean,
Mm.
it's fantastic. It's fantastic. It's because it's so freeing.
Mm.
All these little compromises and all these things we do because we are scared of losing,
Yeah,
or we don't know what else is going to happen, and all these insecurities that might come.
yeah.
When they drop off, it's just such a freedom. This is very, 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 it's such a gift. Such a
Mm.
gift. Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's clear I don't have to know with the mind. It's totally clear. It's
No.
really
Yeah.
to all the time come back here
Yes.
in
Come
this.
back here. And if
Yes.
possible, don't sit in uncomfortable situation.
Mm,
If possible, realize that there is an option to move now and bring it into movement. And it will settle so much more. You don't have to go into the discomfort. That has been huge for me. It's been a huge learning. There was such an idea of sitting through sensations and situations
yeah,
instead of, not
yeah,
necessary, not
yeah. You
necessary.
don't have to work it out and to see what it is all about. Yeah.
No, no, not not necessary. No. Mm. Thanks for bringing this to the
Yeah.
pot, to the soup.
But to the soup. Yeah. Thank
Mm,
you.
mm, mm. Yeah. Thank you, beloveds. Mm. Mm. Mwah. Looking forward to seeing you soon again. Ciao.